Just can't finish it. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jay here. Thanks for checking out my channel. And today I'm going to be covering something a little bit different. Usually I talk about music or vibe coding apps I'm working on, but sometimes I talk about other things such as prescriptions or other supplements that I take. And today we're going to be talking about this particular little pill here called the Wegovy pill. This one is by Novo Nordisk, I believe. Yeah, Novo Nordisk Incorporated. This is the 1.5 milligram, the lowest dose, and it was just recently FDA approved. I think either late 2025 or early 2026. It's now available. You can purchase it with a prescription, and granted, it's pretty expensive at regular price, but you can go to their website and get a coupon that brings it down to 149. This is a starting dose. So the whole purpose of this video is kind of go over my experience so far, what led me to this decision, etc. So, in reverse order. So first, what led me to this decision? I've been, struggling with my weight, like most people who, are overweight for many years in their adult life. It's been a lifelong struggle. Ever since I was probably my teenage years, I went from 180 something pounds to 288 pounds in 4 years, from freshman to senior high school. And ever since then, I've been fluctuating in and around probably 250 to 288 pounds, but I have not, thankfully, been up to the highest weight in recent years. And I did get my weight down to about 228 briefly a few years back because I was going to the gym and seeing a personal trainer. But it kind of fell off the bandwagon after a while. And my biggest issue is I love food. I love to eat. I like things that are fatty, greasy, like burgers and fries and pizza and, donuts, just stuff that you really shouldn't be eating. And as the saying goes, when you eat something that's full of sugar, it makes you more hungry, you eat more. So I end up eating a lot. And I gained most of the weight back that I had lost going to the gym and personal training and stuff like that. So I was at the point where it's like, no matter how much willpower I have, I just can't seem to get my act together. I can't stay on a diet, keep going to the gym. I don't have the energy. So for years I've been seeing, that people have lost weight, not just people that, struggle with diabetes, but, they've noticed that one side effect of this pill is it reduces their hunger and helps them eat less, and they lose weight effortlessly. So this is the reason why I went to my nurse practitioner and I said, hey, I saw this pill is available now, or I don't like the idea of a shot, just feel like it's in your system for a week at a time. I want to be able to see how my body responds to this for the first time. So knowing there's a pill available now caused me, and the coupon to bring it down to 149, it gave me a jumping point. Give me a point where, okay, I can afford this now because I have a decent job that has good pay, good benefits. So like, you know what? Let's try this. My health is worth it. I've been struggling with, different things like not being able to sleep very good and not having any energy and running out of breath. And I'm a singer too, and it's really kind of frustrating when you're trying to hit those high notes and you run out of breath. Just being unhealthy, high cholesterol. And recently I checked my blood pressure. It was like, I don't know, 146 over 96 or something. I don't know. The low number was worrying me of 96 and 97. So it's like, I got to get my health. I'm 42 years old. I've been overweight my whole life. These GLP-1 medications have been, like a lifesaver to a lot of people. If you go to drugs.com, look at the reviews. People are, giving it rave reviews. And tirzepatide is supposed to even be better than this, but I want to start with this to see how my body responds to it. And that's the point of this video, ultimately, is how is it going for me so far? So this is basically day 2. I started yesterday morning, woke up at 8:30 a.m., took this pill, and I ate some, bagel with lox, which is, if you know what that is, it's smoked salmon. And, I felt fine. I think the biggest thing I noticed the first day was just feeling a little off, just feeling kind of like, almost like if you had a few drinks the night before, you wake up with a mild hangover. That was kind of the feeling I would give this. That's the kind of sensation I would give yesterday and then today as well with this. It's not bad. It's not like, overwhelming, but it's there. It's noticeable, kind of like background noise. You can kind of know it's there, but it's ruin your day. So, but I did notice right away that after my first, eating my lox, my bagel and lox, that I couldn't eat the whole thing right away. Usually I just scarf that thing down, and I'm like, I could probably eat more if I wanted to right now, but that was not the case. It forced me to kind of slow down, because I would start feeling the kind of getting full feeling quicker. All right. Fast forward to lunch, I had a fish sandwich, and fish twice in one day, kind of rare, but I wanted to go with something that I feel like would be easy on my stomach. And same thing there. I could eat a little bit, kind of get a little full, put it aside. It's sitting there, kind of, taunting me like I want to eat more because I like the flavor of it, but I can't. Um, then after over the course of maybe 2 hours, I finish it. Kind of nibble at it a little bit. Then later on that day, I went to Wawa and I bought a smoothie, and I bought a turkey ham and cheese, a shorty. This is a short one, not the big 10-inch one, but the 6-inch one. And sitting in the car, and I was driving. I had a 4-hour drive from somewhere. I was actually at a Seven Spires concert. Great band, by the way, up in Baltimore. So on the way back to Virginia Beach, where I live, it's a 4-hour drive, and halfway home, I'm drinking that smoothie, and I'm like, I'm getting full. Like I could barely finish it. I could feel it sitting in my stomach, and I could feel like, if I keep doing this, it's gonna hurt. And it did hurt for a little bit till I burped a little bit, and then I was fine. But I could barely finish it. And then that shorty just sat in the seat until I got home, and then I ate that later, and I was fine. So that day, then I had like a couple other things. So I had maybe a little over 2,000 calories that day, and that was I had to try to do that. All right, because for me to eat, 2,000 calories, sometimes I blow through that before dinner. But in my case, it was hard. I had to almost force myself to eat 2,000, maybe 2,200 calories. And honestly, like I could have eaten less, and I would have been fine. But I was, part of me likes, like I said, see, okay, how can I do this? Can I eat a regular meal and then to be done? But I've noticed that there's a little bit of forget my French. I have to use this phrase because it's the best way to explain it. It's a mind fuck, to be quite honest. Because especially if you're someone who loves food, you love flavor, you love just enjoying that moment. Sometimes even as like a coping mechanism, like sometimes I do emotionally eat. It's just what I've done. It's been my coping mechanism for my whole life. That's why I'm overweight. It's my drug of choice, if you will. I don't do drugs. I don't take any. I'm not on any other prescriptions besides this. So I think the only thing I take is kratom, which is legal in my state. And that does help me when I'm feeling like a little down or like lack of energy or fatigue, but that's it. So not having that kind of fix, being able to go to the cabinet and grab food whenever I want, but it's kind of I have to force myself to look at it as a cup half full, because this is fantastic. Like I can't, like this, some noodle dish that I can't even finish it. It's like, but I like the flavor. I want to eat it. I can't, but I'm like, I have to look at it. This is a good thing. This is forcing me to portion control, because that was my biggest issue. I would just eat until I'm full. And the full feeling is coming on sooner, and I have to learn how to portion, do my portions better. And today, day 2 of this, same thing. I'm not having any, you hear about the side effects of nausea or vomiting, diarrhea, and all that kind of stuff. Thank God I have not had any of those. Maybe some super mild, like a 0.5 out of 10 for a little bit of slight nausea. That was really just kind of like, I do have a little bit of acid reflux that I have experienced, but I was experiencing that before I started this medication. So it might be just kind of carry over. I don't know if I can blame this on that, because sometimes if I drink coffee, and before, a couple of years back, I was taking phentermine, and that didn't really work for me. But I noticed that exacerbated my heartburn if I had coffee. So I'm going to try an energy drink tomorrow, which doesn't give me as much heartburn as coffee, and see if that kind of takes care of it. I have a theory that if I don't drink coffee, or maybe once or twice a week, then my body will be fine. I won't get acid reflux when I take this medicine. But the biggest thing that happened today was, so I woke up, I think it was like 9 something this morning. It's a weekend, so I slept in, took the pill. About 45 minutes later, I had 1 serving of oatmeal, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of almond milk, and I was fine. And then a couple hours later, 3 hours later, I felt a little bit hungry. I've been band practice, so I had one of those Kirkland protein bars. So at that point, I think I was up to like, maybe 400 something calories. Then, 420 rolls around. I always say that because it's just, that's what I remember seeing on my phone. Nothing to do with what people use that word for, but it's 420. I'm like, oh, shoot, I haven't had lunch yet. I didn't feel like I had to have lunch. I didn't get that kind of like that, the hungries, I didn't get the munchies or whatever you call it. So, I made myself a turkey ham and cheese sandwich, what I usually would make, except I made it on 2 pieces of bread. So we got 140 calories for the bread, other, 200 or 300 calories for the deli meats and the cheese, and then I put some mayo on it. Then I had like a piece of chocolate after that, and was that a mistake? I found my limit already on that, and you can't eat a whole, just a regular sandwich. I should have ate half of it, maybe waited an hour to eat the other half, but I like that's the thing I hear people talk about, that they lose the desire for food, or the flavor for food doesn't seem to do it for you as much. I've yet to experience the full-fledged benefits of what people claim this does. It doesn't take away my desire to eat, or my the craving for something necessarily, but it does quiet it down. And again, this is the 1.5 milligram dose. This is the lowest one, and it's only day 2, so I got to give it a chance to build up my system. I would imagine, but I do find myself looking over my plate wishing I could finish it, but I can't because my stomach is full, or I'm getting that kind of like bloaty feeling. It's like, I don't want it. It's like a cross between, I want the flavor still, or do I want to suffer with the pain? Which one am I willing to suffer with right now? So that's the biggest frustration, of the biggest mind fuck, if you will, of this so far is, so far, I haven't even finished this. If I finish this, I maybe would be under 1,500 calories for the day. I still have some veggies in the steamer out there I haven't even eaten yet, and I might add another 150 at max. So I mean, today I might eat 1,700 calories, maybe, and it's kind of cool. Like thinking, wow, I feel like it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm eating, if I can eat 17 to 1,800 calories a day, or even a little bit under 2,000, like I will lose weight. I will lose probably a pound or 2 a week at that, according to these weight loss apps. Like if I could eat 2,000 or less, and then go to the gym, burn a couple hundred calories on the treadmill, elliptical, boom, that's exactly what I would need to do. So that's that, folks. The 1.5 milligram, we'll see. There we go. See how that goes after, a month, because it's a 30-day supply. And, so far, so good. Hopefully I get over this, oh, I wish I could eat more sensation. Maybe at a higher dose, the brain signals that get impacted by this will adjust more forcefully, so I just don't care as much. Because that's what people say. They just don't care. They don't want to eat. They see food, they're like, I don't have to eat this right now. For me, for me, what it's doing is it's forcing me to slow down and forcing me to eat less. Otherwise, I'm going to be in pain. That's what it's doing for me so far. But I would love to have that extra side effect, if you will, of just not caring about the food. So we'll see what happens. But day 2 so far is encouraging. The goal is eat less, lose weight. Ultimately, get healthier. That's really the ultimate goal, is to be healthy. And being at 276 pounds is not healthy as a 5'8" tall male, 42 years old. So we'll see how this goes. I'll keep you guys updated on my progress. I'll probably do a video every few days. I'm not gonna do day 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll do like maybe a video after a week and tell you, my experiences at that point so far. But no vomiting or nausea or major side effects. Just if I eat too much at once, my body just is like, hey, it's almost like it's almost like a gastric bypass and a pill. To be honest, that's what it kind of seems like. But all right, guys, thanks for watching.